name's Jen. I work for Compassion Australia, which is a Christian organisation that's focused on releasing children from poverty in the developing world. My role is a new role within the ministry. It's called Church and Partner Relations Manager, and I take care of church partnerships. And what that means is that we're working with the local Australian church and trying to connect them with churches in the developing world. And what we're trying to do is help Australian churches kind of change their perspective on how they do mission. So rather than thinking that they can go to the developing world and kind of fix all the problems and come in with that Western mindset, we're trying to kind of educate the church here to understand that they've got stuff to learn from the developing world as well as stuff to give. So we're trying to facilitate enduring long-term partnerships between the church in Australia and the church in the developed world that are mutually beneficial, where both partners have something to give and receive. And the outcome is that children are released from poverty, both in the developing world as well as in Australia. In 2006, I went to East Timor with my church for 2 weeks. We stayed in Dili, and I was absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of poverty that I saw. I travelled through Europe and America. You know, I speak 3 languages. I did half of my degree overseas, but I'd never actually been to the real developing world, and it just totally hit me that actually this is how most of the world lives, in this really shocking poverty. Compassion is absolutely child-focused because children are the silent victims of poverty. They have the least chance to change their circumstances, and they're often invisible in the way that we see the world. So one of the key things that Compassion tries to do is really educate people on the value of children in our world and in God's kingdom. We often think of children as our future, but they're living right now in the present. And we try and really elevate the status of children so that it's on every individual's radar how important they are and how valued each child's life is. One of the things that we find really key is to try and facilitate for everyday individuals to actually go to the developing world, to places in India and South America and Africa, and to see for themselves how children live. And we find time and again, just like it happened for me, that that's absolutely transformational. And we try and facilitate how people can bring what they've seen into their own communities and kind of affect their own worlds as well. So we have a whole advocacy network, and the vision is that every Australian Christian will be an advocate for children in the developing world, but also in their own communities, and that the status of children, the value of children will become really the heartbeat of our advocates in our network. Compassion's mission is to challenge, partner and equip the Australian Church to release children from poverty. And when they talk about poverty, they've identified 5 key forms: physical, emotional, social, economic and spiritual poverty. And usually most NGOs work on the economic and the physical poverty, but we really feel that our mission is to kind of help children with that inside poverty, where they feel that they're worthless and that they don't have hopes and dreams for the future. And we can change a child's physical circumstances, but if we don't really help them to understand the value and the purpose that they have in this world, then we haven't really released them from poverty. We really want to engage every Australian Christian to release these children from poverty in the developing world and also right here in their backyards.